Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video, and today we have some pretty big news out of DICE. Now, this could be good news, or it could be bad news, depending on which side of the fence you sit on, and we have a new blog post from them entitled The Class System Part 2. I haven't read this yet, so I don't know what kind of news it's going to be, but we're going to read through this together. Basically, give you guys a quick backstory. Most people have been, I would say the majority, unhappy with the direction that DICE is taking with Battlefield 6 in going with this open class system where you can pick whatever weapons you want on whatever classes. They have promised for a long time now to give us this particular blog here, which may mean they're doing a 180 on the game and actually going to go back to a locked class system where the weapons are locked down. On the other hand, it could just be them essentially explaining to us why they're going and taking the route that they are. So, are you ready guys? Let's delve into the article. It's going to be a long one, so I recommend grabbing a glass of water or something, or a juice or whatever you want. If you guys enjoy the content on the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I'm going to be covering everything Battlefield 6 going into the future. As always, thank you for the support, and let's just get into it. So it says, this community update outlines the current status of the class system in Battlefield Labs, featuring insights from early player experiences. Some systems aren't yet available in Battlefield Labs, but everything discussed here is crucial for defining class identities and achieving our goal of creating the best class system in Battlefield's history. We've seen the suggestions to revert to previous systems and/or closed weapons. We are keeping these in mind in our discussions as we aim to connect new and veteran players to the Battlefield experience, fostering teamwork and creating a universal understanding of our systems for the future. So it sounds like what they're saying here is that veteran players want a closed system, and they seem to think that new players, which they're clearly hoping to capture here, want a more open system. We've collected extensive player feedback and data to improve the next Battlefield, particularly around classes. Some improvements happen quickly through Battlefield Labs testing, with balancing done via server-side commands. Other changes require new tools or client-side updates that take longer. Battlefield Labs allows us to respond to feedback and balance gradually with our community. We invite you to share your thoughts in the community updates section of our Battlefield official Discord. This is the new frontier of community collaboration for Battlefield, and we welcome you to explore it with us. Let's begin. So, first of all, we have a recap on the class system. As indicated in Part 1, our current focus for classes is to have players recognise and intuitively feel the unique identity that each class brings to their squad on the battlefield, to have the interconnected systems and fundamentals of each class shape their role, while granting the freedom to customise how to execute that role. So the class system is defined by two main components, customisable and class defining. The customisable components empower players to explore and push the boundaries of their roles within their chosen class, while still adhering to the class's expectations. The class-defining components are designed to enhance pick-up and go playability and reinforce the expectations of your class identity. Throughout the community update, we will use Recon as the baseline example and detail its signature elements. So first off here, we have training paths. It says training is designed to amplify the unique strengths of each class, ensuring your role on the field is both impactful and strategic. Each class offers two distinct training paths that you can choose from when customizing your loadouts. They provide flat stat bonuses and benefits that enhance your performance in teamwork scenarios and objectives across various modes. So training paths are structured into 3 levels here. At level 0, you get a passive benefit available immediately upon selection of the training path. At levels 2 and 3, you get an enhanced benefit aimed at improving your selected role, only earnable through team play progression and score XP. At level 3 then, you get a one-time use ability that you manually activate and either benefits yourself, your team, or your situation in the match. In the Recon's case, it is the ability to call in a damageable UAV to a marked position for passive spotting. Upon activation, you will need to continue working with your team to make sufficient progress to use it again. As you engage in teamwork or tackle mode-specific objectives, you will passively gain bonuses at each level along your chosen path. Triggering your level 3 ability resets you back to level 2 to re-earn your level 3 ability. Additionally, training path progression is reset at the beginning of of each round. Through Battlefield Labs, we are validating the progression rate, impact, and balance of each path, allowing us to adjust their relative usefulness and power to perform the desired role. And here is an image of the recon training. So first of all, we have Sniper. You can choose that one, which gives you improved auto spot speed, range, and duration. For level 1, then, Sniper hits highlight enemies and prevent healing. That's pretty powerful. And then for level 2, Sniper headshots are unrevivable. Or you can go with Pathfinder, quieter takedowns, crouch, and pro movement, undetected by equipment except when sprinting at level 1, and then for level 2, enemies you damage are spotted for your team, which I think sounds like the best path there today. That's actually really, really powerful. And then the UAV then goes for both of these paths. So the ultimate ability, if you want to call it that, is going to be the same for each class, no matter which of these two paths you take. But you can tell they're trying to outline two very distinct paths here for the Recon class, one more based around being a sniper at longer distances, and the other perhaps a little bit more of an aggressive player, which is probably why they're going to lead into saying, hey, you should also be able to take SMGs or carbines or something with the Recon class as well. So on to the next section then. This one says all roads lead to class identity, and this is going to be all about the signature weapons, which you may have heard about before. So each class has a signature weapon that is intrinsically connected to their class identity, with the role of each class taken into close consideration as covered in part 1 of this series. While each weapon can pack a punch when used in the right combat situations and be a valuable addition to your loadout, choosing to use the proficient weapon category for each class will provide you with tailored passive benefits for your role. Now, we've seen this in Battlefield 2042, of course, and it was very lackluster, so my main worry is that they're not going to be able to do that for this game, but this is what they've got so far. So for the Assault class and the Assault Rifles, Assault is the ultimate infantry fighter, responsible for leading the charge and responding to situations as and when they arrive. Using an Assault Rifle with this class will result in faster transitions from sprint to shoot and switching between Assault Rifles and other weapons. And that worries me straight away there, because those of you who've seen the leaks will know that there is an ability for the Assault class to take 2 primary weapons. So that perk right there tells me that is like an intrinsic part of playing Assault. You know, the whole point of this perk is that you can switch quicker from an Assault Rifle to another Assault Rifle or any other weapon. So that kind of means that if they remove that from the game, they also have to put in a new signature weapon perk for the Assault class. But I guess we'll see how that plans out. The Engineer get the submachine guns. Engineers are positioned for destruction and repair at all costs, which means getting up close and dirty while on the battlefield. You'll benefit from improved hipfire control when using SMGs. See, right off the bat, that one sounds kind of lackluster to me. Like hipfire, it's just really not that great. It's kind of overrated. I do like the SMGs on the Engineer class. I like that in Battlefield 4 personally. I know a lot of people didn't. But I would like to see them just be locked to the Engineers, maybe, instead of them putting this, what I perceive to be almost like meaningless signature trait. Then we've got the Support and Light Machine Guns. Being used to heavy fire situations and being in the midst of chaos, Support are experienced with heavy gear, and as they lay down fire with Light Machine Guns, they will not suffer from sprint speed penalties like other classes would if they were to use the same weapon. Okay, that one might be okay, so you can sprint faster with the Light Machine Guns and that, but are you going to be able to, like, I don't know, bring those weapons up faster as well? Is the sprint to fire time going to be quicker? Is the ADS time going to be quicker as well? Doesn't sound like it, so again, not super impressive in sounding, maybe in practice though. Then we finally got the Recon and the Sniper Rifles. Scope sway will be decreased, and the ability to stabilize your aim by holding your breath improves with the use of Sniper Rifles. Being highly proficient with Sniper Rifles will allow for Recon to be faster at rechambering between shots too. Okay, that one actually does sound pretty impressive. Rechamber speed there, as well as the decreased scope sway, is quite powerful. So then we also have the signature traits down here. So with signature traits, we aim to create a set of unique bonuses that increase the efficiency of your overall role at that class. For the Assault, we've got Enhanced Mobility. We're currently looking at providing this class with reduced fall damage and no movement speed penalty that results from a fall. Combined with other class-defining elements, such as training, it aims to place emphasis on Assault being the tip of the spear class and utilizes mobility as its key strength. strength. I mean, reduced fall damage, it doesn't really seem like... I haven't really noticed, like, people in Battlefield Labs leaks taking much fall damage anyway, so... Again, doesn't sound that crazy. Then we've got the Engineer, explosive damage resistance. While Assault is all about leading the charge in infantry combat, the Engineer is the only class capable of repairing and dealing significant damage to vehicles. You're in highly explosive situations here, and we are theming this trait around that. We're currently providing a reduction to damage from explosions as the signature trait, and will be assessing within Battlefield Labs if that difference is felt between the different classes and what the right level of balance should be for a passive resistance increase or a decrease. Okay, that one might be pretty decent. It depends how much explosive spam there's going to be in Battlefield 6. Hopefully not as much as we've seen in some past Battlefield games, because my god, was there a lot of that in Battlefield 2042. But I suppose that remains to be seen. Then we have support here, faster revive. Support is designed to be every squad's essential choice for defense and sustained combat. Our focus for this class was to enhance the importance of reviving, protecting, and supplying teammates, enabling them to rejoin the fight quickly. Currently, the signature trait for support allows faster reviving when stationary. We are using the time with our community in Battlefield Labs to monitor your feedback on the support class and the evolving expectations of support's role, and identify the best aspects of this role to elevate further. So that one, as always, is actually really, really good. Faster revive there. In fact, I would say it's by far the best one that's been listed so far. And then finally, we have for recon aim spotting. We currently have recon's signature trait as the ability to spot enemies while aiming down sights automatically. This is a signature trait that we are actively seeking feedback on within Battlefield Labs and are continually improving. Again, this one does sound particularly powerful. We've then got the signature gadget. By the way, for anybody who read like part 1 of the class blog, I don't know why they're repeating all this stuff there. It's probably for people who missed part 1, but I know they're going over a lot of the same stuff here, but it's probably worth repeating nevertheless. So class definition is central to our future gadget lineup, ensuring that each class features unique gadgets with zero overlap in usage. This approach highlights and reinforces the distinct role of each class, offering gadgets that either enhance your own effectiveness or support your squad. So for the Assault, we get the Adrenaline Injector. We're equipping the Assault class with an Adrenaline Injector that grants resistance to flash and stun effects, enhances sprint speed, reduces explosive damage, and amplifies enemy footsteps for a brief period. Now that is interesting. It sounds like they've gotten rid of it as a heal, like it used to heal you, I believe. Battlefield Labs has already gathered substantial feedback on the Adrenaline Injector, which we are already taking on board for the future to ensure its balance across classes. For more details, check out the learnings from the Labs section. For the Engineer, of course, you get the Repair Tool. So whereas in the past the Repair Tool has sometimes been a choice between using it or sacrificing it for something more aggressive, going forward, the Repair Tool will always be available to you, so there really is no excuse for you not to repair your squad's vehicle, right? Yeah, that makes sense, of course. And then the Support, they get the Supply Bag. Whenever you see a Supply Bag on the ground, you will know that this item is capable of either healing you or providing you with a certain amount of ammo. So those two have now been rolled into one bag, and Support will be the class responsible for this. We are currently working through the balance of this gadget through Battlefield Labs and defining how much health or ammo you should receive, what the optimal range should be, and spam prevention. And then for the Recon, we have the motion sensor. Whether you're a sniper or a pathfinder in either a defensive or aggressive position, the motion sensor is useful for tracking enemy movement within its limited range. As a Recon, it's essential to have this tool readily available to perform at your best, making it an excellent choice for your signature gadget. So, like, all these things here are pretty much what we've seen in past games. You know, the Supply Bag, obviously that's probably the most different one. We've seen, like, motion balls before. We've seen the Repair Tool. I don't have any problem with that. That all sounds pretty much fine. So, let's get into the juicy stuff here. Learning from the labs. So they say thousands of players began experiencing Battlefield Labs in March, and it has already resulted in thousands of feedback submissions and bug reports, allowing us to work on rapid iteration of specific gameplay elements like movement and responsiveness, while discussing how to improve upon areas that take longer to implement, like destruction, movement, animation, and more. Battlefield Labs is an ongoing process that has laid the foundation for us to collaborate on player-driven changes that will impact the next generation of Battlefield games. While we continue to read through feedback and assess areas to work on, it has already been instrumental in guiding us to meaningful improvements. So, class identity and gameplay. Assault players have emphasized Assault has a lone wolf mentality, and there is desire to make the class less self-reliant and instead enhance team play capabilities. Key areas for improvement include the weapon sling, particularly its early pre-alpha functionality, which allowed for carrying 2 signature weapons, aka primary weapons. The adrenaline injector has also received significant feedback and will undergo improvements, including the removal of the health regeneration component, with further changes to be shared at a later date. So, okay, that's an interesting change. I kind of agree with moving the stim heal there from the assault class. That means you really do have to rely a lot more on the support class now. That is going to be the only class with any heals whatsoever. But this weapon sling, being able to carry 2 primaries, I do not like this at all. It seems like they really just want to move ahead with this, and this is becoming some of the intrinsic functionality of the assault class now. And like they said up here, they want to make meaningful changes that will impact the next generation of Battlefield games. So they're looking to make long-term changes here to the series, not just BF6. Okay, next up we have the engineer. So the engineer remains in a good place, but we are exploring ways to further enhance its interaction with vehicle play. Players were able to equip dual rocket and missile launchers within earlier play sessions, and while that may have enhanced interaction between this role and destruction capabilities, it provided too much power in a single loadout, and we will be limiting this so you can only choose one at a time. Thank God for that. Thank God they've listened to the feedback on probably the most important thing. This would have been incredibly overpowered. Can you imagine if you could have 2 RPGs? You wouldn't last 2 minutes in a tank, man. So, okay, that's good to hear they've reverted that one. Support is frequently played due to its abilities to revive teammates, supply ammo and health, and intercept systems. We are focusing on subtle enhancements rather than significant changes with this class. Feedback indicates that there is an abundance of supply crates taking place, and this can often cause a detrimental effect on combat and create stalemate situations due to excessive healing and ammo. We are investigating adjustments such as the crate's duration, how much you can resupply, and more to ensure we strike a good balance for impact to support and other classes. So I guess, yeah, the support class, it pretty much does what it says in the tin, right? It's going to give you ammo, it's going to give you health. You don't really want to make too many changes there. But I do think now that because they're both rolled into one, you do have to be careful about how many of these boxes we see on the battlefield. Now instead of having to go to one for HP and find another separate one to get your ammo, you can just find any support box and get both of those things replenished at the same time. So definitely tricky to balance. And then finally, of course, we have Recon. So play sessions and feedback have highlighted room for improvement with Recon, and we agree, more work needs to be done to enhance its role on the battlefield. One aspect that we continue to assess feedback around is how we want to encourage specific training path playstyles for this class, strengthening disinformation and sabotage aspects of their role, and need to balance spotting capabilities. So I agree with this as well. I think Recon has always been the weakest of the 4 classes in Battlefield. It doesn't really have a major defined role. In fact, the one role it really has is that it's the sniper class. It's usually the only class that has access to bolt-action sniper rifles. That now seems to not be the case anymore. And so, what role does it really have left if it doesn't have the sniper rifles? That's, I think, a lot harder to define now. Okay, we have some general changes here. While the list above is not exhaustive, we continue to enhance various aspects throughout the development process with gradual changes within Battlefield Labs and beyond, guided by player feedback. For example, earlier pre-alpha play sessions received a large response against ballistic armor, and this feature is no longer included in our multiplayer modes. Additionally, improvements are ongoing with movement and animation, as well as vehicle handling for ground vehicles and aircraft control. That's great to hear because the aircrafts seem to be kind of trash, not gonna lie. Our content is currently in alpha development, and some features may take longer to implement than others, depending on their complexity. However, we remain committed to keeping you informed through our community channels and Battlefield Labs as we work together to build Battlefield. Blah blah blah, get involved, sign up to Battlefield Labs, the end. Seriously? Is that That's it? Oh, dude. I'm kind of lost for words, guys. This was a bit of a letdown. Like, read the room, guys. You know everybody here is waiting for, like, a significant update about the class system. Which way, like, you either go one of two ways, right? You either listen to the community and you lock down the weapons, for good or for worse, or you go your own way and you have the open weapons system, but at least you have to have, like, some reasoning. You have to take part in the conversation that the community is having. There's been a conversation on my channel, every other content creator's channel that I've watched, all over Twitter, all over Reddit. It's absolutely everywhere. People talking about the class system, the pros and cons of having it open and having it closed, and we would really like to hear your guys' opinion on it. So the fact that there's absolutely nothing in here after this long wait when, like, they knew that we were expecting something kind of blows my mind, honestly. I think the only reason they could have taken this approach is that maybe they are still not 100% committed to having an open class system. That's the only option out there, guys. Otherwise, they should be doubling down and trying to help people understand. Then again, it could just be that they're trying to avoid talking about it because they don't want to bring any negativity to the game when things are going generally well, hype is building up and whatnot, and they don't really want to, you know, sink the boat prematurely, so to speak. But I have to say, I think if they still are undecided on such a massive feature like having the weapons open, that would be very surprising, even though technically, yes, Battlefield Labs is still in alpha. You know, that is like an integral core part of the class design, and they really need to nail that down in order to balance all the other parts of the game around it. So you can't just go changing that at the last second and then throwing all the balance work, all the feedback that they're getting from people in Battlefield Labs out of the window because now they've kind of flipped the script and decided to go with a closed class system. So that also wouldn't really make any sense to me. Let me know what you think below, guys. I feel like this blog post had a lot of repetition in it. I'm sorry about that, you know, as much as I am for myself for you guys, because I really expected there to be something much more substantial in here. But what can I say? It is what it is. All of that said, though, I do think Battlefield 6, Battlefield Labs, I think it looks great. Open class system aside, the negative points we've heard in that recent article from Ars Technica about developers being burnt out and the single player being 2 years late, you know, it still looks good. I still have hope for the game. And to be honest, whether there's an open or a closed class system, it's not the be-all, end-all for me. It's not going to stop me from buying the game. It's not going to stop me from enjoying the game. But personally, yes, I would still like a semi-closed system like we had in Battlefield 4. Let me know what you think below, guys. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe for more Battlefield. And I will see you all in the next one.